Hey guys, what's up? So here on the channel, months back, I decided I was going to make a new series called Shop Talk. And what Shop Talk was going to be was me putting the camera up in the corner, turning it on, and working on a project and just talking ad lib about whatever it was. Whether it was current events, politics, guns, gear, survival, or the project itself. What Shop Talk was going to be was basically me just getting my thoughts out of my head and on the camera for you guys to listen to me and actually to watch a project go from start to finish, which is actually kind of cool. Being shy of being a time lapse, watching a project actually be born and finished in several different episodes is pretty cool, I think, anyways. But I shot one episode that was successful. I shot a couple of extra episodes, and somewhere in the mix of YouTube, life, and everything else happening, I lost the footage of the other episodes. After I lost it, I decided I wasn't going to do it because it took too much time to do, and these videos weren't going to be edited. They were very minute editing on it, but I decided that I wasn't going to do it because, like I said, it took too much time, and I had other videos that I wanted to do and other things happening in life, and so I just quit. And then the other day I was thinking, I'm going to go back and do Shop Talk, and so this is another episode of Shop Talk, so here's the beginning now. So thanks for tuning in and watching this episode of Shop Talk. Hope you guys stay through the end. Now, today's episode, I wanted to talk about not only myself, but what you guys could be doing. I'm a big believer in the little guy, and I'm a big believer in the little guy growing to be the big guy. Capitalism. Actually taking responsibility in your finances and whatnot, and figuring out a way to make money to pay bills or to finance the next project and whatever else, and growing not only yourself but a business or a small company or whatever it is. Everything I do here in the garage project wise, I sell for the most part, and I have people who have requested a certain project. I'll write the idea on paper, I'll give them a price, whether it is too much or not enough. I'll give them a price, and I'll put them on a list of to-do lists, or a to-do list more or less of projects. I don't give an ETA in my projects because I have so many projects. Right now I have a list of about 10 to 12 people on it with different projects, and right now I've got 3 projects here in the garage that I have to finish before I can get to the next project. And every project that I do here in the garage is for a reason. Not only for the end customer, but that project puts food on my table. It pays a bill, puts cash in my pocket, or it finances the next project. And with that comes me being thankful. And me being thankful for the fact that I have a skill set that so many people may or may not have. Being able to build something from scratch is awesome. Being able to take an idea on paper and put it in form is awesome. Yes, there's a lot of engineers out there. There's a lot of people who can do this. A lot of artsy people who can do this. But it's so minute that so many people can actually carry out that drawing or whatever it be. And so that's what I do here. I put an idea on paper, or a person gives me an idea on paper. I'll alter it to make it worthy, the cheapest they can afford, or cheapest I can build it to make enough profit, and then I make the product. They eventually buy it, and we go about our ways. This is with everything in life. But on the minute little guy skill, this is how I live my life. And one of the easiest ways for me to actually do this in my garage is finding a good deal. And years back, I got a project done, and I had to put the money back that I spent on the project's materials back in the bank, and then I had a little bit of left over. And that leftover money, I went off and bought a chop saw, because prior to that, I was literally cutting everything by hand. With this saw here, I know you can't see it, and then another wood saw with a miter box. And that got so old, I was like, I gotta go buy a saw. I had $60, and $60 is not going to buy you a very expensive saw at all, if one at all. I went to Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Northern Tool, and eventually I waited for the proper deal at Menards, a hardware store here in town. They had a Win brand 8 1/4 inch chop saw, a miter saw, for $60. And so I spent that $60 wisely, and I bought that saw. And for the last 2 years, since I bought that saw, I've been using it for every single project. And some projects were miscut time and time again, whether it be the wrong angle or whatever it be, but my end product looked good. $60 got me through the last 2 years, literally. It cut a lot of wood. And for 8 1/4 inch, you've probably seen it here on the channel time and time again. That saw is, a trusty little saw, but it's cheap, and it was time for a new one. And so, through my other projects that I've sold and some YouTube funds and everything else, I finally saved enough up to buy myself a new saw. And I bought me a Hitachi 10-inch saw, which I'll toss in here later on. But that saw is smooth sailing compared to the other cheap saw. And I'm very thankful to have that skill set to build something to be able to afford something else, because I very well could have just, went to my day-to-day job and then took the $120 from my checking account that could have gone to a bill and then paid, for the saw. But I had money left over from a project and a little bit of money from my making videos here, and that funded that saw, which I'm very thankful for. And that happens so minimally. I usually don't buy things unless they're on a good, on sale for a really good deal. And that comes down to my next project here, a vise. This vise, or a vise like it, is one that I've been wanting for quite a while, because I'm sharpening blades, or I'm working on a very small project, and I need something that's going to be sturdy, and I need to use a file, and I need to file it down, or whatever it be. And so many times I'd be over here at this table, or my little Rubbermaid folding table with a vise, and I'd be, fighting, or not a vise, but a clamp, and I'd be fighting that clamp moving to try to get that, piece filed down, or a piece cut, or whatever it be. And sometimes God works in mysterious ways and sends you signs that you really just need to go pay attention and look. What you need is out there. The gift is there. And with all these deals I've been getting, my miter saw that my Hitachi miter saw was on sale, of course. But then I went by Menards the other day, and this vice grip was on sale. Vice grips are expensive, and it may be a cheap Masterforce brand vice grip, but a vice grip, if it's a good vice grip, is going to be a very expensive vice grip. The cheapest one that was a 4-inch like this at the store now, this was a display model. It was $80 for a 4-inch vice grip. And I needed something that was going to be hefty enough and still small enough to not take a bunch of space. And when I was growing up, my grandpa had a vise that was, I think it was a 12-inch vise. Huge thing for the table, side of the table. Had an anvil on the side. And I wish I could have inherited it, but he passed it on to another person. But that vise currently would be $2,500, $3,000, just for the size of it. And had a big old wide mouth on it and everything. And for a $27 vise, I can take that. So, right quick here at the channel, we'll go ahead and install it and see where we go from there. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is my $26.99 workshop vise. It's a Masterforce brand. I'm going to set this up so it will turn 180 degrees. Actually, it's more than 180 degrees, but it will sit on this bench, and I can work on a piece here, or here, whatever. It won't go all the way around, and then I can use the little anvil here. and take up less room while it's hanging over there. So anyways, my only problems is that I have a 2x4 here, and then I have a 2x4 leg here underneath. This is a 1x6 here, or 1x5.5 actually, or 3/4 by 5.5, and so I have to go underneath and reinforce the wood underneath the 1x, and that's because I have 3.5 3/8 lag bolts, or lag screws, and so I'm gonna pull back the gun cleaning mat and reposition it downward, and so I can use this area instead of bolting through there. I want to make sure this is completely tied down, not just from the front. I mean, the 2 bolts in the front end of the 2x4 would be fine, but I want this completely cinched down. Now I could have used carriage bolts, but I didn't want to have to do different additions later on for my wood. And so what we'll do is I'll do a time lapse of me drilling my holes and mounting this thing. So here we go. Alright guys, so there is my $27 vice grip, normally around $60 some. It is in place now, so I can do a little bit of working this way. I can turn it this way and go to a different angle. Turn it completely around, and I can use the anvil side. I think it's a pretty good little project, pretty good little deal here. I've actually got one little thing I got to do left. Remove this 3-inch screw, put a 2-inch screw in there. It's enough to get through that. I over reinforce everything anyways. So there's the vise. So now what? Yeah, I know what. Look at these big differences. This is an 8 1/4-inch saw. This is that cheap Win saw that I was talking about, $60 for that thing. It still works, and it has worked for the entire time I've had it. Doesn't cut 100% straight. I mean, you may be able to see the head is not even straight on there, but it cuts, and I make a difference. Nice Hitachi. I think it's nice. Anyways, it's not a DeWalt, but this will last me a long time compared to what this would have not. I'll still be using this for small projects and whatnot. Probably put a different blade on there, but this one will last me a long time, if not forever. I'm definitely coming up in the game. Got me a new vise and a new saw, so why not? So all in all, guys, now that I've worked up a sweat and it's really hot out now, raised about 10 degrees in the last hour, what's the end result of this video? Be prideful. Be happy for where you are. If you're not where you want to be, get to where you want to be. I know it takes time. It's tough to be the little guy, and it's tough to not have what you want. But if you work at it, you can get it. And, you know, don't give up on yourselves. Yesterday I didn't have a vise. The day before that, didn't have a saw that was worth it. Today I got both, thanks to YouTube and working my ass off here in the heat. Anyways, keep calm and carry on, guys. As always, stay safe. See you later.